Okay, we are back at the Happy Whole You podcast, and we're so glad you are joining us live streaming on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And today, Jen Axe, I'm so glad you're here. I cannot wait to have this talk with you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to jump right in, and I just have one very important question to ask you off the bat.
All right.
And that is, what is the difference you want to make in this world?
Woo! That's a big one. The difference is big and it's possible. I really want to awaken and help people restore the innate wisdom inside of themselves so that they can learn to listen to their own truth and learn to trust it and be led by it. Because if we do, as a whole, humanity will be more peaceful, more joyful, more communal, authentic, and honest. And that is what we need now more than ever.
And what brought you to this? What brought you to this work?
Well, my own story. When I was younger, I felt very out of my body. I just felt like I wasn't living my truth. I knew that I had more and that I was capable and that I was smart. But in school, I didn't feel it because when I was growing up, intelligence was measured by an SAT score. And it sounds so silly now. It really does at 54 when I think back to like 10 years old. But the truth is, when you're surrounded by that measure, and that's what people are talking about, and that's how people value your worthiness, well, then you just kind of get swallowed up in it. And it can go either way. If you're doing great on those test scores, then you're good. And if you're getting straight A's or B's and A's, I didn't fail or anything, but I didn't thrive in school only because I did not learn the traditional way. I got through, I got by. I was like a C, B plus kind of person, but I didn't thrive because everything was presented in a logical, mathematical manner. And so as a result of that, I developed a story about myself that I wasn't smart. And that story really had an enormous impact on my life and in my body. And, luckily I was able to turn that around. But for a very long time, I struggled very deeply. And so now on the other side of the spectrum, having had the experience to awaken that wisdom from within and really restore who I am and my worthiness and my form of intelligence, I'm now thriving, and I want to do that for others.
I love that. And we all do it. We all have these stories we tell ourselves that get in the way of us being able to live as our true authentic selves. And I guess it's a part of this journey called life that we go through to rediscover who we are. And you said that you felt like you were out of your body in class. What was that like for you? And at what point in adulthood did you realize that was getting in the way of where you want to go?
Yeah. How did it feel in my body when I was younger? It was awful. It was absolutely awful. I mean, I just didn't feel like I fit in to the smallest things to the largest things, like when I was at parties and Trivial Pursuit would hit the table. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but like my whole stomach would flip upside down and my head would get hot and I'd be like, I can't answer a single question. I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. I would leave a party. But when you're in high school and when you're in middle school, primarily high school it was, and part of college, I exited quick and I felt sick and got sick and just didn't feel like I belonged in that way. So it was very, very difficult for me. And then in my late 20s, after a lot of struggle and a lot of saying no to opportunities because I didn't think that I was worthy, I then had my rock bottom moment. I was actually dating someone who ironically was going to Harvard. And right?
Yeah, that's great.
Insane. Like, it's hilarious,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Um, but it actually, what was great about that experience was that his community loved me. I loved them. Like, everything was great. And the wheels started turning, and I started thinking, okay, there's more to intelligence than just a
Mhm.
score on a
Yeah.
paper. Um, so I actually got invited to a dinner, an intimate dinner with him, who was friends with John F. Kennedy Jr., the
Mm.
former president's son. I need to say that because a lot of people may not know this person at this point. It was so long ago. And anyhow, so we were going to dinner. I mean, this prominent figure and his wife, and me and my boyfriend, who's a Harvard whatever. And I was like, oh my God, no, I am not going. like, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? No. So this was an opportunity of a lifetime, and I denied it. And it was that night that I had my rock bottom. I cried. I was curled up in a ball. I was just a mess. But I did have this out of body experience that was basically like, okay, are you ready now? Are you ready to rise? Because, like, do you want to live your life like this, or do you want to change? And so this voice was very present, and I was faced with this question and what came to be an enormous opportunity. And I stood up and I started to chart my way forward. And I came into the work of Howard Gardner, who was a Harvard professor and psychologist who has written and studied and taught about the multiple forms of intelligence. And when I learned that there were multiple forms of intelligence, I was like, okay, why did my teachers never tell me that there are many ways to learn, many ways to process, many ways to be intelligent, many ways to be successful? And that is where the turning point started.
Mm. What were some of those other ways of intelligence that you learned about that you were like, oh, light bulb?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, so number one is kinesthetic intelligence, which was my number one. Kinesthetic intelligence is the body's physical ability to help us learn
That's
and
how I learned.
Yeah, we're all kinesthetic learners.
Yes.
Who
Well,
can't
yeah,
learn
we have,
from a good visual
yeah.
and like a good body, A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
Yes.
singing the lyrics, it's no wonder why we can hold on to lyrics the way we do because that's kinesthetic. That's kinesthetic learning. We're using our body as a catalyst, as a tool for learning. Athletes, dancers, surgeons, artists, writers, musicians, like this is but we all have it. We all have the capability. It's just a matter of fine tuning it. And as a dancer for my entire life, as someone who communicated through the body, it completely made sense to me. I was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
So that's one. Another is emotional intelligence. And that's our innate ability to hear our emotions, connect to our emotions, and be able to process them and be able to hold space for others. So it's emotional intelligence is actually broken down into two: interpersonal and intrapersonal. And so he lists out 9. I related to these 3 deeply, along with somatic intelligence,
Mhm.
which is our body's gut knowing. It's what our ancestors
Yes.
thrived and survived on, right? Go ahead. You're going to say something.
No, no, I'm just keep it coming. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's so true because I was that kid in class,
Mm.
couldn't sit in my seat, that felt
Mhm.
very stupid. The teacher made a comment to me,
Wow.
and it literally changed something in me that was a moment from feeling anything's possible, imaginative, I'm playful and fun to this one moment when
Ah,
this teacher said something and I programmed in my brain, you're not smart enough.
oh
So
my God.
it's no what like and I laugh too because it's like it's no wonder I got a PhD and I don't even know how many certifications I have, but it's
Wow.
interesting how the very things, those very stories we tell ourselves, we we literally the trajectory of our life changes when we let that be the story. And
Yeah.
then when we remove that story and it's like, what if that story wasn't true? What if I was smart enough? What if anything is possible? Then it's like, oh wow, like the weight comes off us. It's like our creativity opens up. It's a
Absolutely.
magical place to be. But Yeah, I mean, with the clients I work with and coach with, these executives, we all have these stories and they are getting in the way and they cloud our judgment and they cloud our creativity and our authenticity and our uniqueness
Yeah.
of how we're supposed to show up in the world. So I think I love that we're talking about this because
Yeah.
it is.
I,
It's so
I want to comment on something that you just said before we move on, that yes, all of those things. And these stories can inform our purpose and can help us open things up for others. And so I've really come to look at the pain that I went through and the struggle because it was deep and profound. And by the way, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That makes me crazy now that, all these years later. And I so feel you and I so get that. And I feel now, for me at least, it's my responsibility to show people another way. And so I'm working not only with women and men in midlife, but I'm really leaning into students because I want to get in there before they have 25 more years of thinking that they're not worthy. You know what I mean? I want to get in there earlier and be like, hey, here's the deal, and redirect them sooner.
Oh my gosh, yes. What do you think is the most common truth that the body is trying to tell us, but the mind is not listening?
There's so many every day. Every day, our emotions and our sensations are guiding us. They're messengers. They are messages. They are not annoying things that we need to push away, that we feel, we're taking up too much space. People tell us, oh, you're taking too much space, or it's too emotional, or it's not that bad, it's not that hard. All these things that we're feeling in our body is communication. It's of our highest intelligence. And so it's messages all the time. I don't know what the one single thing is. I mean, maybe what it's knocking and saying is, I know before the mind does. Please listen to me.
Mm.
I am telling you this relationship no longer serves you. I am telling you that the person in front of you that you're interviewing is not right for the job. I'm telling you that that job that lights you up or that opportunity and your heart is soaring, it's for you. The body knows. The body knows before the mind does. So I think the body is really, the truth is that it knows. And we need to bring them together. I talk a lot about mindset and I talk a lot about body set. And body set and mindset together equal the greatest awareness and awakening and wholeness and can create the most impactful success. But we've not talked about this asset inside of our body hardly ever, if
Yeah.
ever, in this frame. So I'm trying to bridge that gap between mindset and body set.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, we're taught really to put a band-aid on any physical symptoms. Like
Yeah.
we have a disconnect between the mind and the brain and then the physical body.
Right.
Like, oh, I have acid reflux. It's just because I'm eating bad food. Well, if we keep going, if we ask why, well, why are we
Right.
eating bad food, right? There's just
Right.
emotion under that. And then
Right.
why are you feeling that emotion? And so like when we keep going deeper into the intelligence, it's just our body showing up saying, I need you to make a change. And
Exactly.
we're not listening. I think one thing that I see a common thread more now, or maybe it's just an awareness that I'm having now, is people feeling like they don't belong,
Mm.
especially the younger generation. When I see the teenagers that come in to see me and the 20
Mm.
something year olds,
Yeah.
there's this sense of disconnect of belonging.
Yeah.
And that's a very common thread that I see quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it shows up as worry, digestive
Hmm.
issues, anxiety, things like that is something I see quite a bit of. And I've been able to tie it back subjectively to the not feeling like they belong, not
Yeah.
want to do.
Right, right. Well, it's really hard. There's so much external pressure. I was dealing with society telling me I wasn't smart enough because I didn't score on an SAT. But now it's so much greater. You've got social media, you have all these influences. There's so much comparison, there's so much expectation and now people have been disconnected from their truth, from that innate wisdom more than ever. And so that's why I feel this work is so important, especially with AI as well, that is also now doing that logical thinking and strategic thinking for us. We need now more than ever to dig deep into who we are and what we believe in and what we stand for, and that emotional intelligence rising to the top, because that is what we need as a country and or as a world. And that's what you asked me at the beginning. What is the impact that I want to make? I mean, the sooner we can get ourselves reconnected to the source within us and understand that this is not just like source, woo woo. It's not that. It's rooted in research in somatic, kinesthetic, and emotional intelligence combined with, well, we haven't even talked about it yet, but how I have people really connect to that wisdom. I've created a practice, and we can talk about that if you want to.
Yeah. No, that's literally where I want to go next, is like, somebody out there is like, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
How do I even connect
Right.
with my body? Because I'm like in my body. So I feel like I'm very well connected because it's screaming at me all the time.
Right.
What do you mean by connecting that mindset and, body set and bringing them together?
Yeah, such a great question. Thank you. So as a dancer for pretty much my entire life, and as a dance educator for over 30 years, I understand the body pretty well. And I've done a tremendous amount of research on the body and the functionality of it alongside these three intelligence systems that I've learned a lot about. So I've created this somatic practice. Soma is the Greek word for body, for the people that are listening and don't know. It's a somatic practice. So it's a body-based practice. And there's so much research and so much, as you know, about somatic experiencing and feelings and emotions being stored in the body, and how do we connect and listen to them. So interesting, it was the pandemic and everyone was home and all things were shut down. And I knew what I had inside of me. I didn't have the practice yet, but I knew that I could help people reconnect and stay grounded and hopeful, because everyone was dysregulated and lonely and scared, right? I mean, it was a very difficult time. So I just started getting online. First, it started with some friends. Hey, I'm having this calling. Can you just like try this with me? And then one thing led to another. And I wound up reaching hundreds of people all over the globe because people were desperate for something. And so what took place was this. I asked people to embody their emotions with their hands. That's
Mhm.
the kinesthetic learning, right? With the hands, or kinesthetic experiencing. So I didn't want people to get up and use their full body. I wanted them to stay close to the camera so that I could feel their energy and look into their eyes. So I just said, okay, let's use our hands. And so I would love you to embody your fear with hands. So, for example, let's just say fear is like two fists for those that can't see the camera. My fists are clenched and shaking. So, honoring that part, honoring the fear, because a lot of times our fear hijacks us because we're trying to get rid of it instead of inviting it into the conversation and just saying, okay, almost talking to it. Like, I
Yeah.
got you. You're going to be okay. So, we give it a moment with the gesture. And then we embody the release, the let go, the peaceful, the joy, whatever that higher energy is, the energy that we want to be into, the emotion that we want to experience. So then we allow our hands to release that energy and open up. When I tell you, I have seen hundreds, probably thousands at this point, different gestures, because I don't create the gestures, the people do. I guide them into it. Anyhow, so one thing led to another, and I called it the power of gesture. I started doing research because I had to. There was so much transformation happening in front of me. I couldn't believe what I witnessed over the years. So I did the research, and there's tremendous science behind the brain hand connection. And this is a profound connection that we have never really spoken about in this way. So the hands speak to the brain, and then the brain speaks to the nervous system. So the hands have a direct connection to the nervous system, which allows it to calm. And then we gain the clarity and then the confidence that we need to go do the thing that we need to do. So the power of gesture sits at the root of my practice. And surrounding that, I just teach about the intelligence systems, and this is how we access them.
So we didn't talk about this before, but could you take us through a hand something
Yeah.
now?
Yes, exactly. So
Anyone's driving and listening, you cannot drive.
exactly. do you want me to give you an example, or do you want me to take you through, like, for example, what are you experiencing right now? Is there any unrest in your body, or are you feeling peaceful and excited? Like, whatever it is in your body. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if I sit with my body, I have a little tension in my lower back,
Mm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
and I'm standing at my standing desk, and I'm feeling the tension in my lower back.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And does it stay there? Is it small? Is it large? Does it take up the full lower back, or?
it's small,
Mm-hmm.
small lower back. It's like a circle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you place your hands on that part of your back?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And just feel your eyes are closed, which is beautiful, and just use the power inside of you to bring loving energy to that part of your body, to your hands, possibly feeling the warmth of your hands. I know you're over your shirt, so that might be hard, but just sort of breathing into it, almost like you're holding it with care, no judgment, just curiosity and a lot of love. And just staying there for a moment, and then using your hands to almost, I can't see them, but like moving your hands out, possibly to the side, coming around to the front, and then placing both hands right on your heart, nice and slowly. Yeah. And then I would invite you to just move back and forth between that gesture. So your hands moving from your heart back to that spot, sending it again, that love and compassion, curiosity, and then opening it up, bringing it back to your heart center. How does that feel?
It's good. I felt like my lower back was probably at a 7 tightness, and now it's
Mm.
a 4, which is great. And when I put my hands on my lower back, I immediately felt that warmth before you said it, which was really cool.
I know. It's so beautiful. I have chills because we just need love. It's like a child just saying, "Hold me."
Yeah, I love that. And I love
Mm.
how you use the hands. When I've done stuff like this before, it's like using my mind to visualize,
Mm.
acknowledging where I'm feeling something, giving it a shape, a color.
Right.
But I love this practice of using my hands.
Yes.
I love that. I'm going to,
Yes.
even with my clients, I think that's so
Yep.
amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna just add. Woo! Yes. Okay, I want to share, okay, when you do it for yourself or for your clients,
Yeah.
continue to do it as many times as you need to. Do it slowly, because when you do it slowly, you give your body an opportunity to speak. That curiosity piece, no judgment, just love and curiosity, is essential so that we can learn what that tension is all about, because you might hear something that could inform you. And the last thing that I'll say is play some instrumental music that you love. You can play any kind of music that you want, but music is a big part of it's always a part of what I do.
Yeah.
Music is a gateway to the soul, you
Yeah.
know? But I like instrumental because I don't like to be taken out of my own story. I like to stay in it. So I have like libraries and libraries of instrumental music. So I would invite that for you as well.
I love that. That's so great. I love that. And I love how anyone can access it. It's like
Yeah.
what I experienced with what you just walked me through was I identified somewhere in my body that felt just tight, uneasiness.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I brought my hands and placed them on that spot. And for me, it was my lower back.
Right.
Sent love, curiosity, got warm,
Mhm.
and just came back also to my heart.
Mhm.
And I went back and forth from that spot.
Mhm.
Um, and just was breathing with it. So that's great. And people could do that anywhere except
Anywhere
for
except what when you're driving. Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
I I love that. Thank you for that. That's
You can use it all the time before you're about to give a presentation or when you're stressed out before a conversation, like whatever. You can use it anytime, all the time. And I also invite people to use it when they're feeling amazing and they want to feel more amazing.
yeah.
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling this lightness in my chest. Great. Put your hands on your heart and like do a gesture that's even more expansive.
Mm, I
Right. So you
love
can elevate even more. You don't have to go from a dark place to a light place. You can go from light to lighter to bright. You can use it in all the ways.
that's so good. I love that. That's great. And I can see too, like, yeah, not just adults, but for kids,
Oh, yeah.
definitely helping them connect with their
Mhm.
body and what they're feeling. And yeah, it's interesting how I don't know. I don't know if it's of course, I think is it my generation thing or whatnot, but it's like dealing with emotions. And it's funny how we say dealing, like it's such an inconvenience,
Right.
right? When it's like versus
Intelligence.
yeah, there's these emotions that are intelligent and they're trying to
Right.
speak to us and they're trying to give us information. And I love these conversations because I think it opens up the doorway of this isn't something we should feel ashamed of. This isn't weird. This isn't woo woo. Being emotional is a part of this human embodiment, this whole experience. And it actually can help unlock so many creative, amazing things within us that we didn't even know or we're not remembering. Because I think we know we're not remembering that they're even there.
That's right.
And it's so amazing to be a part of. One of my coaches that I work with, we always do an embodiment piece
Mm-hmm.
with whatever we're working through. And whether it's breath work, whether it's speaking, whether it's complete silence, whether it's mantras. And I'm gonna start moving my body more when I
Yeah.
like this is so good. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, energy never wants to be stuck. Energy wants to always be in flow. So with the body being completely energetic, we've talked about that on this podcast before about if we go inside every cell so we can't go any further, the only thing that's left is what's called a quantum atom. That's literally just energy. So we
Right.
are energy. So we need to be in flow.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Absolutely.
important.
I
Hot.
love that.
Okay, what am I not asking you that I should be?
Well, what are you asking me that you haven't already? I mean, we went through the power gesture. I wrote a book, Your Body is Speaking. That is exactly what it is. Your body is speaking. Just really, I think both of us are on a similar mission. I mean, you have a lot of different layers to your work, but a common goal is to really awaken this for people. When you were talking about how people just look at it as woo woo or it's emotional, God, we got to shift this perspective big time because if we are not leading our lives, leading our children, leading our teams, leading our businesses from the inside out, what are we doing? We are leading from someone else's story and someone else's agenda. We have to know ourselves. We have to know what we care about, what vision we want to create for our lives and for our teams and our children and all the rest and for the world. It is our responsibility. Otherwise, we're robots.
Yeah.
And so shifting this perspective is essential in the success of everything that we do.
Mhm.
So that is just, it's so important. And I'm just so grateful that you're having me on this podcast. And I really hope to educate people about these ancient wisdom systems inside of us that we have forgotten or
Yeah.
never been taught how to listen to and use as assets in our life. It's so important. So I'm very grateful for this conversation.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. If you were to give those listening one or two things they can start with,
Hmm.
would start that connection going. I mean, we
Hmm.
did exercise earlier,
Yeah.
but is there anything else that you would recommend that they just explore or try that could help with more of that connection piece?
Yeah. The one thing what's coming to me is pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention when your body tells you that you're at a party and it feels wrong, right? Or you're at an event and like something's off, or you're in a relationship and your body is telling you that this no longer serves you. Pay attention when, like I said earlier, when an opportunity arises and you're like, your heart, you're just like, but someone else is going, oh, that's kind of whatever, judging it. Listen to the light.
Yeah.
So pay attention. Just those two words lock in to your mind and body. Pay attention. The second thing I would say is pause. So really they go hand in hand. Pay attention. Pause. Just pause. We don't have to make a big shift in our life. We don't have to make a big decision in our life. We need to pause. And what I say is body set. Body set is when you put your hand on your heart, your hand on your stomach, and you close your eyes. So the minute I feel anxious, the minute I feel anything that's taking me off center, body set. And I put my hands on my body and I close my eyes. And then what I do, I mean, this is going a little further, but those are simple, right? Just body set, pause, and notice. That's really it. From there, if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, do the power of gesture. Embody your emotions with your hands. But if you need some guidance on that, I'm here for it. So really just pause, body set, pay attention, and just start noticing. That's it. Just start noticing.
I love that. And I think the best part about you saying just notice, it reminds me to not attach a meaning to it.
Right.
This is something I've been really working hard on and being super mindful of. It actually doesn't feel like I'm working hard on it anymore. It's just what I do. But at first it felt more challenging because I could feel something, I could experience something. And then I immediately went to my head and I was creating a meaning of what does this mean?
Exactly.
Versus I love it. It's like pause, body set. I'm not going to give it a meaning, but it's like, okay, like what's it? Just sitting with it because it's like our brain will hijack,
right?
Start to connect all these meanings to it and create those neural pathways and those neural networks that maybe it's not what we want to program in.
Exactly. Because it comes from fear. It's like, oh, now I know. And now what do I need to do? And then I'm afraid to do it. So I'm not going to. Don't worry. Take the pressure off. It's just the noticing and starting to understand what it is. And that's literally it, because the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. So I challenge, or I invite everyone to do the pause, body set, and just like throughout for the rest of the day, whenever you're listening to this, like take a couple moments to do that. I think that's a really good practice to kind of get into, because I don't know about you, but my body's always talking to me. Like,
oh yeah,
it's a million times a day.
Always.
Yeah.
I'll give you, I have this body set to reset. It's a 5-day email thing that you get, and it's super easy and super chill. And it's all about that pause and noticing. I can give it to you and you can send it to your listeners.
Yes, that would be great. Yes. We could put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Well, so,
for
yeah,
sure.
this is great. All right, Jen, where can everybody find you and connect with you and get your book and all your work?
Oh my gosh, amazing. You can go to my website, which is my name, www.jenaks.com. And I'm on Instagram. There's an underscore in between the Jen and the Axe. I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook, all the things. So you can reach me on any of those platforms and email me always, jen@jenaxe.com.
Love it. All right, Jen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.